everyone. Welcome to this session. Today we are going to discuss a mock test that we have prepared exactly on the lines of the SBI PO prelims. Okay, this is a discussion of the English section alone in this mock. The mock is on the lines of last year's SBI PO prelims exams and the expected pattern this year. The same pattern we are expecting this year. Of course, there could be changes, but the question types have been more or less the same over the years. So we have taken great care to make sure that the mock is along the lines of the actual papers. Okay. Now, before starting this discussion, I will also give you some quick tips on how to approach the exam, okay, how to manage your time effectively, etc. So let us start. If you have not yet subscribed to our YouTube channel by any chance, please do not delay any further. We have lots of videos in all relevant subject areas which will be useful not only for bank exams but also SSC, CGL, all the other government exams and other competitive exams. Okay, so without further ado, please do subscribe so that you get regular notifications. Okay, so let us start the discussion of, let us start with a discussion of the strategy. Fine. Here we go. Suggested approach for effective time management. Okay, so one thing I have to tell you first, this is only a general overview or a general set of guidelines based on what we think works for most students. Okay, we have tried to give you an approach or suggest, that's why I have specifically mentioned it as suggested approach. Okay, we have tried to give you an approach that would work for most students. This will help you maximize your score and also be able to attempt it with focus within the given time. As you know, you have in the current pattern, in the latest pattern, you have 40 questions to be attempted in the English section in 20 minutes, which definitely is challenging. Okay, it is challenging for the best of students. For an average student, it's going to be almost impossible to attempt all the questions, which means that you need to be strategic about it. You have to see which are the questions you will definitely be able to score well on. You will have to do those questions first, and at the same time keep the time factor in mind. It should not only be a scoring question type, but also one that you can do quickly, right? So this approach that I'm suggesting here considers the skills and concerns of most students. However, there may be exceptions. You know your strengths and weaknesses the best. So if you constantly take mocks and analyze them, you will be able to identify your strengths and weaknesses, and your own personal strategy should be customized according to that. Okay, so our suggestion is, first, when you glance through the paper, you know what question types are there. If there is a close passage, try to start with that. Why? Because in a single close test, you will get up to 8 marks, right? Usually 7 to 8 marks you can get from a single close test. There are multiple blanks and it is a mix of vocabulary and comprehension, but the passage will not be very lengthy. So it is not like reading a reading comprehension passage, right? It's basically like doing multiple fill in the blanks together. Okay. And vocabulary, either you know the word or you do not know the word, right? And you get, as I said, 7 to 8 marks from a single set. Okay, so it would be good if you start with close passage, then whatever FIB questions are there, fill in the blank questions are there. You can do after the closed test, be it grammar based or vocabulary based. Okay. And then for most students, you can attempt RC next because again, it gives you a bunch of marks at one go. It can be up to 12 marks, right? So if the RC passage looks readable, you can do the RC next. Okay. While attempting the questions in the RC, you may want to do the easy questions first, whatever questions seem very direct, and the vocab based questions. If there are vocab based questions, 2 or 3 questions, you can do all those questions first, then move on to the other question types. But again, if you're very confident in RC, if that is your scoring area, then do the RC set right in the beginning. No harm. RC and close you can do right in the beginning. That's why I said this is only a very rough guideline and you will have to evolve your own test taking approach. That requires thorough practice and analysis of mock. Then you can do grammar. Okay. Grammar questions. These are all sentence starters, sentence formations, then word usage, all these grammar and vocab questions. Okay. Word usage, word interchange, replacement, match the column based questions on grammar and vocabulary. Now, if you are someone who is very scared of reading comprehension, first of all, watch our videos on YouTube. Okay, just recently I have done a very thorough video on RC strategies. Other expert faculty members have also done several sessions. We have discussed questions there. The YouTube channel is a virtual treasure trove of resources. Okay, so if you are scared of RC, first please go and watch all those videos, take mocks regularly. If you're still scared of RC, you may want to do it after all the other question types. I mean, all these other question types, what we have discussed so far. Okay, then para formation questions, or if there is odd man, these questions take time. The problem is if you get one sentence wrong there, the entire bunch goes for a toss. You will not be able to get any marks at all, right? So, usually the advantage of this question type is usually they have position based questions, right? Once you get the order, then they have which of the following is the first sentence, second sentence, etc. Often. If that is there, you may want to give it a shot, but then not right in the beginning. Okay, give it a shot. If you are sure of the position of, let us say, 2 sentences, the starting sentence and some other sentence, then you can at least get so many marks and leave the confusing part if you're confused about the placement of sentences in between. Like that. So, these are all tips, okay? You have to apply some strategy. That is the main thing. You have to apply some strategy in order to make the best use of your time and score well. That is why we keep asking you to take mock tests and analyze them. And yeah, the other para-based questions, if any, sometimes you have para completion, theme of the passage, etc. These you can do towards the end. Okay, so this is a sort of set of guidelines for you, a rough set of guidelines for you. Now let us start the discussion of the paper. The paper has not been prepared in this order. Okay, it is a general order. So I will go by the order of this mock paper, but when you attempt, please keep this order in mind. Okay, so we have an RC passage here. Okay. This is a pattern where some words or phrases may be printed in bold, so you can identify them easily, and there are questions related to that. Let us quickly read the passage. Most students suffer from pre-exam nerves. Nerves means nervousness, anxiety. But the financial markets were remarkably sanguine ahead of the results of the stress test of American banks. We are not talking of students here. What are we talking about? stress test conducted on American banks. Okay, let us see what they are talking about. So this analogy with exams, that was just for comparison, it was just an analogy. Sanguine means optimistic. The word is in bold, so probably we may have questions based on it. See guys, if you're doing RC somewhere in the middle, you see words in bold, you know there are vocab questions. If you don't have enough time, you can at least do those questions, right? Okay. So we are talking of some stress tests, but the financial markets were optimistic, or they were looking good. Okay. By early May, the S&P 500 index had recovered. Don't start asking what is S&P index. I am not going to tell you either. Why? Because it is irrelevant. You don't need to know. You know it is a financial index. If we start explaining all this, you will also think it's important to know each and everything that comes in the passage. That's not how you do RC. Don't keep asking, Ayo, what is this? I don't know the meaning. You know, it's a financial indicator. That's it. So this index had recovered the losses it had suffered earlier in the year. Okay. So there is some stress test being faced by American banks. We don't know what that is. Financial stocks have been rallying since March after Citigroup hinted that its first quarter trading performance was better than expected. So financial stocks have been rallying in this context means improving. That optimism was echoed by other banks. So this is the Citigroup of banks. Okay. Although helped by one-off factors that may have overstated the true recovery. Okay. So some of the optimism may not be based on reality. Okay. There may be some factors that have been exaggerated to convey a very positive picture. Big losses on commercial property and consumer debt are still to come. Nevertheless, the financial system has come a long way since the meltdown of last autumn. So we can infer that there was a meltdown or a breakdown. Now it has sort of recovered. That view is supported by the credit markets. We saw that the credit markets and the financial indicators are good. Fewer American banks are tightening lending standards. Okay, they're being quite liberal. And borrowing costs in money markets have fallen sharply. Risky assets such as high yield bonds have also delivered strong returns. If you don't know the implication of all these things, again, I'm telling you the reason I am also not explaining each concept, what is a bond and what is a high yield bond. That is not how you read these passages. Okay. Anyway, there will be concepts that you don't know at all, but you have to learn to tackle the passage and infer from the context. They will not ask you any question which requires external knowledge of economics, business, finance, etc. They'll never do that. Rest assured. Okay. In short, there has been a marked shift in attitudes towards risk. The rally has been led by cyclical stocks dependent on economic growth. By the end of April, mining, automobile, okay. So the rally, what rally? The positive trend basically, right? That has been led by cyclical stocks dependent on economic growth. Okay, cyclical, going in cycles based on the economic trends. By the end of April, mining, automobile, engineering and retail stocks were up. Okay, compared to the end of 2008, whereas defensive sectors such as food producers, pharmaceuticals and utilities were down. Now don't try to mug up all this. Don't try to remember everything. Just know that in the third para maybe, right? Third para we have data on which are the companies that were doing well, which are the stocks that were doing well, mining, automobile, all this were doing well, and some other structures were, some other sectors were doing badly. Just know that this is where you have to come and check. That is all. This optimism is partly supported by economic data, especially surveys of manufacturers and service firms. In truth, okay. So some data gathered from various forms. In truth, the economy is still contracting, though at a slower pace. That is why possibly the author said earlier that some of these statistics are exaggerated. It may not reflect the reality, right? The figures suggest a deep recession rather than the rerun of the depression feared earlier. So, what there is a lot of positivity, but what the author is finally saying is that we may actually be on the verge of a recession. Okay, it may not be a depression, but a recession. The economy going backward. This appears to be a conventional rally from the depths of a recession, as stock markets often rise before economic recovery is complete. So that is what, okay? It is not, the economy has not completely recovered, so there could still be ups and downs. However, such rallies are common even within bear markets. Some of the rebound may, so bull and bear, yeah, bullish markets are the ones that are up, and the bearish markets are the ones that may not be doing so well. Some of the rebound may reflect technical factors, as hedge funds that were holding cash or betting against the market were forced to buy as prices rose. Okay, so some of these issues here may be because of technical factors. Okay, you don't need to know more than this. I'll tell you why. Okay, when you look at the questions, you will understand. Because if you start analyzing it as a subject passage, if you start, trying to understand everything, see, this is not a teaching session. This is just to show you how to attempt the exam. So in the exam, you cannot really afford to go in depth into the subject. The data have improved only from extremely weak levels. That's the thing. Earlier also they said that there was a recession, and see here, the same idea. Okay, it is a conventional rally, conventional rise from the depths of recession. So it is very common for stock markets to rise once there is a recession, when there is a slight improvement, even before the recovery is complete. Okay. Yeah. Now, given the massive stimulus in the form of lower oil prices and interest rates, quantitative easing and fiscal deficits, some rebound was inevitable. Okay. Nevertheless, the broader picture, so rebound here means improvement. Okay. So there are several factors here. There are some technical factors, and here there are some other external factors like lower oil prices and lower interest rates. Also some fiscal policies, etc. So this bounce back was inevitable. Nevertheless is a contrast word. Means, however, the broader picture remains troubling. Okay. This optimism is not completely justified. Nominal GDP has fallen for 2 consecutive quarters. Okay. Industrial production is still declining sharply, and companies continue to default on debt. What are these? These are the troubling factors, disturbing factors. These are the negative factors. The danger is that sentiment has flickered higher, much like a frog's leg twitching under electric current. What does that mean? Flickered is what? Flashed, right? So sentiment here refers to the optimism. Okay, optimism has flared up, but this the author is comparing to how a frog's leg twitches when there is a shock, which means that ultimately this is not going to be a positive thing. There is a word of caution in these words of the author. This was not a conventional downturn, and it is unlikely to produce a conventional recovery. Okay, it is not your usual recession, and it is not going to be an easy recovery. Okay, fine. So, if you ask me what is the central idea of the passage, there is a kind of recovery or some optimistic trend in the stock markets. However, the author is a little skeptical because it does not seem to be a complete recovery, but a kind of rebound, and we need to wait and watch. So that caution is the primary tone here throughout the passage, right? Let us see the questions. The author through the passage does all of the following except. What is the author not doing in the passage is the question. He wants the financial institutions that big losses in property and debt are in the offing. There may be big losses, especially. So when you read that, we saw that the some sectors are doing well, some sectors are doing badly, right? So risky assets such as, okay, there is a recovery, but they have spoken of some, in various parts of the passage, they're talking of how certain sectors are doing badly, and they, or rather maybe risky. Okay, fine. So financial big losses in property, and the big losses may happen basically. Okay, specifically property and debt may not be mentioned, but yes, big losses are going to happen. He cautions the financial institutions that there may not be more profits, that this is not sustainable. See, all these are inferences. They are not directly given in the passage, but they all go with the general trend here, right? The general trend they are talking of is here, all these negatives. Nominal GDP has fallen, industrial production is declining, companies continue to default, unemployment is rising, etc. So from all these, you can infer, right? He presents a grim picture of the financial situation. Yes, the author does present a grim picture, not a very positive picture. He dampens the economic optimism in financial circles. Dampen is to throw water on, literally, that is to tone down. The economic optimism is not really justified, right? He prepares the consumer to be euphoric about rebound in the economy. Euphoric is extremely excited. No, the author is not asking the people to get very excited. The author, in fact, cautions that their optimism may not be justified, right? Okay. So the answer is option 5. The others are inferences based on the passage. That view is supported by the credit market refers to. Okay, so if you are not sure, please go back and check here. That view is supported by the credit market. So where should you go and see? That the financial system has come a long way since the meltdown of last autumn. Okay, so a very positive attitude. That is the view they are talking of. Let us see. What does that view refer to? Needlessly fearing the losses that were expected. No, not skepticism, it is optimism. Unnecessary jubilation on the profits expected. Jubilation on the profits expected is a celebratory mode. There's no celebration there, it is just optimism, right? That it has come a long way and that it's generally going to be a positive trend. Okay, that is what they're talking about. Okay, I missed the sentence for the previous question. Here, big losses on commercial consumer debt are still to come. Okay, I missed that sentence here. So this has been, I said it's an inference, but that has been directly mentioned in the passage, okay, for this question. So when in doubt, please go and check. So jubilation is an extreme word. Let us see. Okay, and unnecessary, whether it is necessary or not is also a judgmental word. Let us see. Being highly optimistic that profits will continue. Yes, it is optimism there, not unnecessary jubilation or celebration. So we can rule this out because 3 is better. Hopefully waiting for the rebound. No, they are saying that the rebound is already there and that is what has led to the optimism, right? Preemptively providing stronger impetus. What impetus? Providing preemptively is proactively in advance, but no, what is the view supported by the credit markets, not what they are doing, right? So the answer is option 3. Okay. Next, banks, according to the author, what are banks doing? Do they appear to be ignoring the harsh realities? Yes, they are ignoring the harsh realities. They are not accepting the possibility of a recession. Continue to be optimistic based on a specific factor. Yes, the specific factor is the current trend alone, right? Yes. Have tightened their norms for lending to be in operation? No, they've said that they have relaxed their norms for lending. So 1 and 2, which is option 3. Okay. So now for questions like this, if you have not been able to remember them while reading, you may have to go back and check. So that can be time consuming. If you tend to read with focus and your memory is good, it is fine. Otherwise, in RC, you may want to do the easier questions only. Easier as in vocab and those kind of questions if there are any. Which of the following, as understood from the passage, is not a situation the world economy faced during the downturn? Not a situation the world economy faced. Okay. The global economy reeled under the debt crisis. Correct. That is true. It is mentioned in the passage. If I keep showing you where it is in the passage, we will end up wasting a lot of time. If you're not sure, you should go back and check. Okay. Employment opportunities were few. All this is directly mentioned in the passage as factors that affected the world during the economic crisis, right? Economic crisis, they have mentioned in various parts of the passage what were the effects, okay? Wages remained what they were. Yes, stagnant wages has also been mentioned. For 2 consecutive quarters, the GDP recorded was far more than nominal. No, it mentions that GDP has fallen now, and earlier also there was a crisis. So then the GDP cannot be far more than nominal. Consumers were afraid of height. Moreover, nominal GDP is mentioned. So this is a distortion that it was far more than nominal. Consumers were afraid of higher taxes. Yes, they were anticipating. That is also mentioned in the passage. Hence, the exception is option 4. Okay. There is no blank here in this passage, right? That we can skip. Okay. It can be understood that all of the following may have contributed towards the improved economy, except which of the following may not have contributed towards the improved economy. Lower oil prices mentioned, lower interest rates mentioned, quantitative easing mentioned. Okay, as I said, I don't want to take you back and forth all the time, but please make sure you check while attempting the exam. Make sure you check if you're not sure. Quantitative easing mentioned. So when I tick it, it means that these are not the answers. Lower risks in assets is not mentioned as a reason for improvement in the economy. Okay, that is not mentioned. Fiscal deficits is also mentioned Hence, lower risk in asset should be our answer. Okay. Which of the following does the author mention as down by the end of 2008? That we definitely have to go and check which are the industries that were down. Sorry, food producers, pharmaceuticals, and utilities. The others were up. Okay. Food producers and pharmaceuticals. Mining is in the up list. So both 1 and 3. Okay. Now, select the word which is most similar in meaning to the word given in bold as used in the passage. The meaning of sanguine is optimistic. Ideally, you should go and check how it is used in the passage also. But then sanguine has only one meaning, which is optimistic, and the direct meaning is given here. So that is the answer. Okay. The other words are all what? Are all negative words. Okay. None of them are synonymous to sanguine. So sanguine has the root sang, which means blood, but it shows like a rush in blood. That is, what do you say, blood circulation. There is a symbol of life and vitality. That's how sanguine means optimistic. Okay. Yeah, the other words, depressed, sallow is pale, unhealthy looking. Pallid is also the same, pale, and obsessive, obsessed with excessively thinking about something. Okay, flickered. Flickered in the passage means what? Flickered, where is that? Flared up, right? The sentiment has flickered higher. There it means to flare up. Okay. So, dark, no, it's a positive thing there. Rigid, not flexible, no. Scintillate, scintillate is to sparkle or shine. So, here we can use it in that sense, right? Flare. It could be possible. Vitreous refers to any shining surface that doesn't fit in there. And stealth is cunning, deception. Okay, so the right word is scintillate. Okay, that's it. The RC is over. Now we have a closed essay. If you read this much text, you will get what? You will get 5 questions. Okay, that is why we suggest that you do closed test in the beginning. Okay. For each blank, they have given 5 options. Okay, you need to check the options and do. Let's quickly do it as we do it in the test. For a closed test, you need to read the sentence and a little here before and after that in order to pick the right word. Don't just start putting one word in a blank by reading only around the blank. You need to understand the entire context properly. Okay. Nothing has dash more to retarding the emergence of a democratic context in places like Venezuela, Nigeria, Saudi Arabia, and Iran. Run through the names of countries. So something has slowed down democracy. Then the dash of oil. You have 2 blanks here. Nothing has dash more to. Okay. Contributed. I see the word right away. I had this word in mind. Nothing has contributed more to. Okay. Why? Arrived more to does not make sense at all, and arrived is not followed by to. Devised more to. Devise something. Devise a strategy or a plan. Right? Preferred. Nothing has preferred more to retarding the emergence. That does not make any sense as a sentence, right? They prefer to do something. First of all, you don't say more after prefer. So contribute is always followed by to, and that makes sense there. Nothing has projected more to retarding also doesn't make sense. Something has been projected. That would be the usage. So contributed is the word. Next, same sentence, we have question 11. So let us see what 11 is asking for. Nothing has contributed more to retarding the emergence of democratic context in all these countries than the dash of oil. Okay, so it's something of oil, something related to oil is slowing down the progress in these countries. What? The place of oil, does that make sense? No. The plan of oil? Plan of oil, no. Curse of oil, the issue of oil or the problem associated with oil, that does make sense, right? The curse of oil makes sense. Let's see. Development of oil will not contribute to retardation. Loss of oil is very extreme. Oil getting lost does not make sense. If you're not sure, just read the next lines. Okay. So the answer is curse of oil. There should be some problem they are talking about. Okay. As long as the monarchs and dictators who run these oil states can get rich by drilling their natural resources as opposed to drilling the natural dash and energy of their people, they can stay in office forever. Okay, so talents, natural talents, right? And energy. As long as the monarchs can get rich by utilizing their natural resources instead of their people, they can just keep staying in office forever. They are secure because the people are being not utilized properly. So talents make sense. Tools of people, no. Tension of people, no. Powers, okay, let us see. Damages of people, no. But powers, what will happen is, as opposed to drilling the natural powers. What are natural powers? That is very vague. No, natural powers we don't usually say. The collocation is a little off. Natural talents is a natural expression. Okay. So you have to look at collocation also. What is collocation? Collocation is what goes with what. Natural powers in this context, it does not go well. Okay, now we have blank 13. They can use oil money to dash all the instruments of power. What? To capture maybe army, police and intelligence, and never have to introduce real transparency or power sharing. So let us see. We are looking at blank 13. Use oil money to, I said capture. To use, no, does not make sense, right? Use all the instruments of power is a very mild word there. Convince all the instruments of power, no, that is not fitting in properly. To effect all the instruments of power also does not make sense. Monopolize. Monopolize is correct. To capture, right? To monopolize makes sense. Apply all the instruments of power. Apply to what? That doesn't, you can't apply all these institutions, right? That is army, police, etc. No. Okay. Next, all they have to do is dash and hold the oil tap. Okay. So, this is, they here refers to the monarchs and dictators, right? Okay, all they have to do is dash and hold the oil tap. What should they do? Supply and hold the oil tap? The oil supply? No. Capture, to get hold of, right? Repair and the oil tap, that doesn't make sense. Push also doesn't make sense here. Fill from where? No, they have to get hold of the resources, not fill oil like you fill in a car. That also doesn't make sense. Capture. Okay. And one more blank. They never have to tax their people. So the relationship between ruler and the ruled is highly, okay, they don't have to tax their people. Don't ask why, we don't know. Okay, is distorted, maybe it's a very unnatural relation when they don't have to tax the people, right? Refuted is disproved. That doesn't make sense. Highly special, the whole passage is written in a sort of negative sense, so special is not in line with the tone of the passage. Is highly realistic. No, when there is no taxation, that is not a realistic situation. Specialized also does not make sense, hence the answer is distorted. Okay, so closed test, you see, now I explained it, but in the exam when you do it, you can see that it is very scoring type question. Okay, fine. Now we have paraformation questions. Paraformation, please, when you read these sentences, you should be able to, the good thing here is either in most of the questions, there will be options, right? So when you read the pattern itself, read the sentences one by one itself, you should be able to identify which is the potential first sentence. That way you can eliminate a lot of options. Then you should look for any mandatory pairs. Mandatory pairs are pairs of sentences or sentences that stick to one another because of certain connectives, certain transition words, right? Any like if there are if two sentences with the same concept being explained one after the other, all these will form mandatory pairs of sentences. Okay, let us read this first question. As I said, while reading, I'll show you what all to watch out for. NASA's Mars rover collected valuable data about the Martian surface. Can this be the starting sentence? Not really. There is no context there. Suddenly they're talking of NASA's Mars rover without any introduction to the scenarios, to the situation, right? These interpretations help protect life and valuables on our planet. Looks like a concluding sentence, possibly, not sure, but these interpretations help protect. It's a very general sentence that sums up certain benefits, right? Space agencies worldwide collaborate on space exploration missions. Okay, this could be the starting sentence, possibly, right? It is opening a theme about collaboration of space agencies in space exploration. Scientists on the Earth interpreted the data in multiple dimensions. Which data? See, valuable data in A. So we most probably have a mandatory pair here. Right? We can see later we may have to change our mind, but A and D at present seem to be a mandatory pair. Any already you can see any combination with A and D, there is one with this combination. See, this is how you start making sense of patterns. Later you may have to change your mind. That is okay. Fine. The search for extraterrestrial life continues to be a key goal in space exploration. Okay, now we said that here space agencies collaborate on space exploration missions. We first said that could start the para, but then here this is the topic that this is a sentence that introduces the topic of space exploration, right? Then they are talking of collaboration. So in many questions we can see this pattern, general to specific, the sentences flowing from general to specific. Okay, So key goal in space exploration is the more general sentence. So now we need a a combination that starts with E and which may have this, which is ECADB, which is our answer. In the exam, you may have to quickly find the answer like this, but E is definitely the starting sentence. So what about EACBD? Let us look at that. The search for extraterrestrial life continues to be a key goal in space exploration. NASA's Mars rover collected valuable data. Okay. But here A and D is a mandatory pair. It is separating the mandatory pair. Moreover, it is coming back to after a specific sentence, it is going to a more general sentence. NASA's Mars rover is more specific than space agencies collaborate on space exploration missions. If you are following the general to specific pattern, then definitely C should come before A. Okay, so by that logic, we have ECADB as the answer. Got it, all of you? How we got this answer? Okay, next let us move on to the next para formation question. Okay. The sun was setting behind the mountains. Okay, sometimes you do have these kind of questions in bank, okay, narration in para formation. The sun was setting behind the mountains. The sky turned shades of pink and orange. Okay, let us see. We decided to have a picnic by the lake. So that should be the opening sentence probably. Let us see. Sarah brought her guitar to play some soothing tones. Okay. That is after they decided to have a picnic for sure. As the evening breeze rustled the leaves, we all relaxed and enjoyed the serene atmosphere. That could be the concluding sentence, right? To sum it all up. So, C as the starting sentence and E as the last sentence, if that works, we have one combination here. E as the last sentence comes here, but then C is not the starting sentence, but we can't be very sure. So let us see this order. C, B, A, D, E. That is, we decided to have a picnic by the lake. The sky turned shades of pink and orange. The sun was okay. The sun was setting behind the mountain. So here is a statement. The sky turned pink and orange and the reason. The sun was setting behind the mountains. That is why the sky turned shades of pink and orange. Right? Then Sarah brought her guitar to play and as the evening breeze rustled the leaves, we all relaxed. Right? So it's a nice story there. The other order with C is CEDBA. So that brings this concluding sentence right in the beginning. Does not make sense. Fine? Okay. Next. The spacecraft carries advanced instruments for scientific research. Which spacecraft? The spacecraft. They are talking about a particular spacecraft. That is why the definite article is used here. Right? So that will follow after the mention of the spacecraft. It aims to explore the moon's south polar region. What is it? It connects to something. Okay. Chandrayaan 3 is India's lunar mission. This should be the opening sentence. Its success can mean a lot for the development of India. Successful landings on the moon are crucial for its success, for the success of this spacecraft, right? So what do we have here? Chandrayaan 3 is India's lunar mission is the beginning. Then what is its aim? Okay, what is it going to do? Okay, it is India's lunar mission, but what is it going to do? Its aim is to explore the moon's south polar region. Then, It carries advanced instruments for scientific research. So these three sentences serve as a bunch which describes the whole mission. And then we have, then what do we have? Successful landings are crucial for its success, and its success can mean a lot for the economic, for the development of India. Okay, its success. Don't just match words like that. You have to match the ideas. We have CBAET. Okay. Okay. Now, again, the next para formation, a little lengthy sentences here. Okay, so when you see lengthy sentences, I would say keep them for the last, but here they seem to be quite readable. Let's quickly read it. The assistant, all excited, first wished to be in Bahamas driving a speedboat and she disappears. Okay. We don't know what is happening here, something interesting. A sales rep, an assistant, and their manager were walking to have lunch when they found an antique oil lamp. This should be the starting, like a story. Let us see. The manager said he wanted those two back in the office after lunch, and the boss had his way. Okay. Let us see. This may be, we have no idea. Let's see. The sales representative wished to be in Hawaii, relaxing on the beach with his love of his life. So we know that all these people probably got some wish. They found a lamp, right? Okay, let us see. They rubbed it. They rubbed it comes after they found a lamp, right? So B is the opening. They rubbed it and a genie comes out of the lamp and grants each one of them a wish. A genie comes out, and or it's all in the past tense, so we can say a genie came out of the lamp. So BE, is there any combination with BE? There you go. BE. Then there is an assistant here, right? This assistant wanted to be in Bahamas and she disappeared. Then, so that comes next. Then BEA, right? Sales representative wished to be in Hawaii, relaxing on the beach with his love of his life. So here they are saying that the assistant is the first one. Probably that's what it means, right? Okay. And then you have D. But what happened? The manager wanted those two back, the ones who disappeared. And he had his way. The boss had his way means finally these two people who left on their holiday had to come back. Okay. So that is the story here. One more paraformation question. We live in a delicate balance with the creatures with whom we share our world. Okay. The world is filled with them, creatures that can end a person's life with a single motion. Okay, these are talking of dangerous creatures. Usually we are the predators and they are the prey. Okay, they refers to these creatures. So probably this will come after A, somewhere after A, but we can't say it's a mandatory pair. Some of them are so tiny they could climb up your leg without you even noticing. What are those? The world's most dangerous animals aren't always ones you had expected. Okay, so that should be the starting sentence. Right? Which should be the starting sentence here? The world's most dangerous creatures. And then the world is filled with them. EB. Where do we have EB? Only one combination. This should be our answer. So let us read it and see if that can be our answer. The world's most dangerous animals aren't always the ones you'd expect. Then the world is filled with them. The creatures that can end a person's life with a single motion. Yes. Then some of them are so tiny they could climb up your leg without you noticing. then we live in a delicate balance with these creatures, and usually we are the predators and they are the prey. But here they are talking of us having to beware of these creatures also. Okay, fine. EBDAC is the answer. You saw the connections are quite obvious, right? Okay. Okay. Now we have fill in the blanks, vocabulary, not very difficult. You have to keep practicing your vocabulary. Okay. We keep doing vocabulary sessions in YouTube also. You can see in class we have several handouts. Apart from that, you can get Word Power Made easy if you want. There is a free PDF version online. You can go and check it out also. Let us see. The greatest dash to solving problems, positive word or difficult word, we don't know, is the belief that you cannot dash them. So probably they're talking of something negative, right? The greatest fetter to solving problems is the belief that you cannot conclude them. You don't conclude problems. Moreover, fetter is to tie up. Okay, so you don't say the greatest fetter, right? That doesn't make any sense at all. Okay, it's usually used as a verb. Unfettered means without any restrictions, like that. The greatest stimulus to solving problems is the belief that you cannot deduce them. The stimulus is a positive word. If you cannot deduce them, that's a negative thing. So that doesn't make sense. Why I put positive here is, I should have put it here. Stimulus is a positive word. Okay, but here you need a negative word. Negative word, right? Because the belief that you cannot dash them. So the sentence sounds negative. Okay, sentence sounds negative. The second blank will not have a negative word. I wrote that there by mistake. Second blank should have a positive word, but what I meant is that the tone is negative, right? Why will the second blank have a positive word? Because the belief that you cannot solve these problems is the greatest problem, is what they are trying to say. Okay, you got it, right? So let us see. The greatest impetus to solving problems is the belief that you cannot resolve them. Then how can it be an impetus? Impetus is also like stimulus, a positive word. Incentive to solving problems is the belief you cannot crack them. If you cannot crack a problem, again, that's a negative thing. That is not something that will work as an incentive or motivation, right? The greatest obstacle to solving problems is the belief that you cannot solve them. That does make sense, right? The greatest obstacle to solving problems is the belief you cannot solve them. That is what comes in your way. The lack of confidence or faith in yourself. Perfect. Makes perfect sense. Okay. Nothing more to explain, right? No strategy for, no strategy per se for fill in the blanks, but you have to read both the blanks and then decide. Okay, don't just see one word and put it there. Read both the blanks and then decide. Such fear of failure dash exploration and assures the retrogressive. So fear of failure, see, in fill in the blanks questions, especially multiple blank questions, you have to assess the tone of the sentence properly. Okay, so fear of failure, is it positive or negative? Fearing failure and hence not being able to do something, it is a negative thing. So we know, and here assures the retrogressive narrowing. Retrogressive is the opposite of progressive. So going backward, that means the tone of the words we are looking for is negative. We have got some clues, right? Yeah, okay. Such fear of failure helps exploration. Straight away you can rule it out. Retrogressive narrowing of our outlook is okay, but you need a positive words, right? So this is wrong. Okay. Here it need not be a negative word, okay? Because narrowing of something, narrowing is already a negative word. So, yeah. Such fear of failure arrests stops exploration, okay, and assures the retrogressive narrowing of intelligence. Intelligence cannot be narrowed exactly, no? That does not make sense. Intelligence is something that that you're born with to some extent, but it can't be narrowed, okay? Such fear of failure, so the first blank was okay actually. Such fear of failure prevents exploration and assures the retrogressive narrowing of personality. The personality, okay, if you fear failure, your personality itself takes a step back. That's why it's being called retrogressive, right? That makes sense. Encourages exploration, positive word, no. Allows exploration, positive word, no. See, I'm showing you how to solve it in the exam, so I'm not really going word by word, okay? And that way you will never be able to crack it in the exam. So you need a negative word, look for all the negative words in that which fits best, okay? Fine. Organizing my bookshelf, I found a dash of expatriate memoirs, dash of them by military and diplomatic wives and children. Okay, I found a lot of, large number of maybe, right? And some of them were by military and diplomatic wives and children, maybe. Let us see. I found a few of expatriate memoirs, many of them by military and diplomatic wives and children. That is possible, yes. Okay. A few means a small number, but yes, positive. I found a bulk of expatriate memoirs, none of them by military. That does not make any sense, right? Why not by military and diplomatic wives and children? They are often the expatriates. And I found a bulk of memoirs, you won't say. You say the bulk of this is something. You don't say I found a bulk of. That's not good usage. Okay. I found a minority of expatriate memoirs. What is that? Minority among what? That doesn't make sense at all. You don't need to read the second word even. I found a handful of expatriate memoirs. A few of them by military and diplomatic wives and children is possible. This is also possible. I found a plethora of expatriate memoirs, several of them. So here it is showing a bigger number. Plethora is a larger number, right? A lot of, many. That is more likely. I found many of many memoirs, right? A plethora of. That makes sense. And several of them were by military and diplomatic wives and children. However, I should say this is a bit of a tricky question, right? Handful of and a few is also okay. We are going for the strongest. Plethora is a large number of, but without any context, since it is one sentence only, it can be a little tricky. So if you see such questions, you may want to skip them and not risk negative marks. Okay, because the exact context is not very clear. 1, 2, 3 options can actually fit in. So be careful with such questions. Okay. Next, we live in a technologically advanced world with dash gadgets and devices to help us in our everyday life. Let us see. We live in a, okay, with gadgets and with dash gadgets and devices. What kind of gadgets and devices? Unique. Okay, maybe unique is possible to help us in our everyday ordeals. Ordeals are the daily struggles, troubles. So possible, right? Quite possible, this one. With popular gadgets and devices, okay, to help us in our everyday delights. If every day is delightful, you don't even need help, right? They help you with your everyday problems or everyday tasks. Delight is too positive for this situation. Common gadgets and devices. We live in a technologically advanced world with common gadgets. Common gadgets doesn't go well with technologically advanced. Common gadgets are the ordinary basic ones, guys, right? So it doesn't make sense, right? You have to apply your brain a bit to help us in our everyday agonies. Agony is pain, but agonies is a very strong word. Everyday agonies doesn't sound so realistic. Okay. Singular gadgets, singular is used in the sense of unique, but doesn't sound good here. Help us in our everyday pleasure. Why do we need help with pleasure? Right? With normal gadgets, what are normal gadgets and devices? We don't know. To help us in our everyday fun, no. Fun, you don't need help. So, this is the answer. Okay, just common sense. It is not, there are no formulae to apply here. Just understand the meaning of the sentence, the tone of the sentence. This is a veritable. Veritable means very true or really real. Okay. Yeah, a true or real. This is a veritable dash in praise of dash in an era where speed is worshipped. This is really a something in praise of something in an era where speed is worshipped. So, in an era where speed is worshipped indicates some kind of contrast. That is the construction. In an era of something, this is a something. That construction usually is used when there is a, what do you say, when there is a contrast. Okay, so let us see. This is a veritable dialogue in praise of hastening in an era where speed is worshipped. Hastening is the same as speed, right? So that doesn't make sense. Dialogue should be okay. This is a veritable homily. Homily is a sermon, or it is a lecture. Okay. In praise of procrastination in an era where speed is worshipped. I told you, see, you have to get familiar with certain constructions in the English language to get these usages right. So if you find any such question challenging, it is because of your lack of familiarity with the language. Just leave it. Don't take blind risks. Okay, you should realize that this may be a usage based question and you need to be familiar with the usage. Okay. Yeah, next, this is a veritable conversation. Okay, but conversation is a mild word. So veritable means like it must be a strong word actually. Conversation in praise of rushing. Rushing is also the same as hastening, right? Sorry, the same as speed, I mean. That doesn't make sense. This is a veritable comment in praise of delaying. Okay, veritable comment, okay, but veritable, you use it for some strong words. Homily is a strong word. This is really a lecture like that. And in praise of delaying what? Delaying doesn't really fit in. Procrastination would make more sense, no? Delaying is what? Making something late. Why would someone deliberately delay something? This is a veritable sermon in praise of pushing in an era. What pushing? That doesn't make sense. So, see, homily is a very strong word, okay, used normally as a religious sermon in the context of a religious sermon. That is why this is veritably, this is really like a religious lecture or a sermon is what it means. Okay. Again, connotation, the exact tone, etc. are important. This comes through reading and practice. You have to now, these are grammar questions. You have to select the grammatically correct correct sentence. Okay, and if none of them seems to be correct, then you can mark none is correct as the answer. Okay, so what do we need to do? We need to read each sentence carefully and pick the sentence that is grammatically correct. You need a little time in this, but you have to read it quickly, word by word. That is all. Okay. Let us read all the sentences very quickly. I shall work for an India in which the poorest shall feel that it is their country in whose making they have an effective voice. Fine. No mistakes so far. Looks good. Looks good to me. Okay, let's see. Punctuation, you don't have to worry too much. Okay, only the grammatical errors, grammatically correct. So, usually it is about grammatical errors. We don't know if they will test punctuation sometime. Usually they don't. Okay, this seems correct. I shall work for an India in which the poorer shall feel. Poorer than whom? Poorest means the poorest people in the country. Poorer means that there should be someone to compare with, right? Poorer is the comparative degree. Poorer shall feel that it is their country in whose making. The rest is okay, but poorer does not make sense. Comparative degree. I shall work for an India in which the poorest shall feel that it is their country in whose making they have effective voice has been made. Affective voice here. Affective, there is no word actually affective. Okay, affect is there. Affect is to, to influence something usually negatively, or affected is there. Affected voice means artificial voice, but that is definitely wrong. I shall work for an India in which the poorer, again the same problem. I'm not even reading more than that. So none is correct, is not correct because you have this which does not have any mistakes. Okay. Next. It is not an exaggeration to say that not only in the preamble, also in several other parts, not only but also. As soon as you find a mistake, you leave that. Not only has to be followed by but also. You can't just have also. Now I'm not reading the whole sentence. I am showing you, see, if I were teaching this in the class, dear students, I would take each sentence and teach you its construction, like, read the whole sentence. But here I am showing you mock solving, how to solve the mock or how to solve the exam, right? How to. So then that is the reason I'm not taking it like a class, each sentence reading in detail. I'm showing you how to quickly eliminate. Okay. So don't wonder why she's so lazy. She's not reading the whole sentence. If you read the whole sentence after finding an error, you will take 10 minutes for one question type itself. No, I'm showing you in the exam, the moment you spot an error, move on to the next sentence. That's the only way to save time. Okay. It is not an exaggeration to say that not only in the preamble, no, the introduction to the obviously, constitution, but also, not only, but also is correctly given. Also in several other parts of the constitution, there is a perceptible vibration of the Gandhian concept of independent India. No mistakes. Let us see. If we have missed anything, we can come back and check if there are no other if other options also seem to be correct, we can come back and check. It is not an exaggeration to say that not only in the preamble, but also in several other parts of the Constitution, there is a perceptible vibration of the Gandhian concept on independent India. Till then it was correct. Concept on something? No, concept of something, right? Not concept on. Okay. Yeah, it is not an exaggeration to say that only in the preamble, but also in. Only but also? No, not only but also. Hence 2 is correct, hence 5 is not correct. See? Quickly you have to do it. Okay, speed. Okay, shall I show you a little faster? Yeah. While true support and helping hand, and a helping hand, wrong. Okay. While I'm showing you fast, now don't say why is she running, we can't understand anything. I'm showing you the moment you see an error, run. While true support and a helping hand reflect, okay, a friendly gesture and help the beneficiary stand taller. Stand taller than whom? Than whom? We don't know. Right? We don't know. Stand taller than whom? Earlier also I told you, when you see comparative degree, a quick way to eliminate is immediately see whether you have anything else to compare with. Okay? So that does not make sense otherwise, to just have a comparative degree. Okay? While true support and a helping hand reflect a friendly gesture and help the beneficiary stand tall, okay, a dole robs him of dignity and hope. Now only I read the whole sentence because this sentence seems to be correct till the end. What is dole? You may not be very familiar with this word. Dole is an unemployment benefit, okay? A benefit, it is not a very positive word. In certain countries like the US, I think, I'm not very sure, but I've heard this in the American context. Being on a dole means being given a benefit, an unemployment benefit by the government, which is not considered a very positive thing. Why they're saying a dole robs him of dignity and hope, but you don't need to worry about that. The sentence is grammatically correct. Yeah, but if you don't know the meaning of the word, you may get confused, right? Still, if you find mistakes with all the other sentences, even without knowing the meaning of dole, you can see that this 3 seems to be correct. While true support and a helping hand reflect a friendly gesture and helps. Here it is reflect, then it can't be helps here, right? True support and a helping hand are two different things. So the subject is plural. You need the agreement with plural subject. You can't have helps. So answer is option 3. Okay. See, quickly. Grammar, you have to be super thorough with the usage. Okay, then only you can do it fast. Economic growth remained robust. Current account balance improved. Despite continuing sluggishness on global demand. Sluggishness in demand, not on. Something in demand, improvement, increase in demand, sluggishness, slowing down in demand, not on demand. Economic growth remained robust, current account balance improved, in spite continuing, despite continuing, or in spite of continuing. And it is written as in spite of. Economic growth remained robust, current account balance improved, despite of, no despite of, despite only. Economic growth remained robust, current account balance improved, despite continuing sluggishness in global demand. Okay, this seems to be okay, so the answer is 4. Okay, and what is this? Same, but we have, yeah, some lengthy sentences. If you see lengthy sentences like this, I would say leave it for later. Though I said grammar questions can be solved immediately after RC, I would say lengthy sentences, unless you are very confident of grammar, you can keep it for later. Okay, let us see. Medium term macro outlook remains bright against the background of green short in the global. What is green short in the global economy? Green short doesn't make sense, no? Doesn't make sense. There is no such usage. So if you're not sure, you leave it. You may feel there is such a usage, we don't know, you can just leave it. But green short, and against the background of, then if it is a short, there should be a green short, but there is no such usage anyway. Medium term macro outlook remains bright against the background of I didn't underline that. That was my mistake. Oh, okay. Against the background of green shoots in the global economy. Green shoots means something sprouting, some green, some growth, right? Some growth. Okay. You know, no, when a plant comes up, it gets those new leaves, new green shoots. Positive farm expectations, step that can improve rural income, stabilize prices, and continuing improvement in indicators of external vulnerability. Everything seems to be okay with this, more or less. Okay. Long, complicated sentence, I would say leave such sentences in the exam. You can do it later if you have time. But this seems to be correct, right? Okay. Medium term macro outlook, macro outlook remains brighter. What did I say? Brighter against the background of brighter, no comparison there. Nothing else to compare with. So this is wrong. Medium term macro outlook, naturally one tends to say macroeconomic. Macro outlook remains bright against the background of green shots. Again, we have this green shots. So we got one that is correct. Which one was that? 2. Okay. Okay. Now we have phrase replacement. What is that? Okay, we have a phrase in bold. You need to replace the phrase in bold to make the sentence grammatically correct. That's all. Not, this is a very, this is a question you can do without spending much time on it, right? This question type, you just need to quickly look at the options. Grammar has to be strong. Okay. Grammar, we give you several classes. We have lots of material. In our material, there are lots of questions. The rules are all there. This seems to be related to verb usage and tense. So verbs and tenses, everything we have in the book. Okay. Over the past few weeks, the Cleveland police has been in intense scrutiny regarding an alleged custodial death of a juvenile. Juvenile is a young person. Okay, so the police has been in intense scrutiny is what this says, but there is a problem. They are saying no correct. One option is no correction required, but the police is always used as plural. That is one of the first rules in your grammar book that we have given you. In the nouns chapter, you will see police is always used as plural. Army is always used as singular. Don't ask me why. I tell my children, when my own children were small, I used to teach them like this. The army has to stay in one place to protect the country. They have to be united. So they are singular. The police cannot stand in one place. They have to run after the robbers. So they are plural. That is a good way of remembering it. There may be other ways. There may be other better reasons. I do not know the reason. This is all idiomatic. Okay, the way it has evolved. Police is always plural. So has been does not collocate. Okay, does not agree with that usage. And also in scrutiny, you don't say under scrutiny. So the Cleveland police have been under intense scrutiny. Fine. Has been in, no. Has been, no. Is under, over the past few weeks requires a perfect tense. Okay. We can say currently they are under, but again it is under. You need the plural. So have been under. Fine. This is because of the explanation we took this long. This should be done in less than half a minute. See, when you have 40 minutes and 40 questions in 20 minutes, you should focus on questions which you can do under half a minute. First, that is why we said cloze test can be done fast, because each blank won't take you 30 seconds, right? The entire passage may take you, let us say, about 1.5 minutes, which means that if you have 5 to 6 blanks, then it will be usually less than, almost, it won't be more than 30 minutes. actually, right? Okay. Ah, I think you remember the opening of the IMAX theater for which I, you, and Mrs. Smith was presented. First of all, we are talking of plural subjects. There are three. Presented, they were present. Moreover, there is a problem with the order. When we are talking of positive or neutral situation, it has to be 3, 2, 1. Okay. If it is a negative situation you are talking about, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Negative situation, I comes first. That is an exception when you're talking of pronouns, the pronoun order. Pronoun here, there is a noun also, Mrs. Smith. Pronouns or nouns when you're talking of a list. If it is a positive or positive or negative, sorry, positive or neutral situation, it is usually 3, 2, 1. Some versions say 2, 3, 1 also. When you're talking of something very positive, you do say 2, 3, 1 also. That depends on the context, guys. The problem with English is that you cannot be absolutely certain about certain formulas, right? You can't use formulas or formulae. Okay, that is the problem with English. Sometimes 2, 3, 1, but the thing is that 1 is always at the end. If it's a very positive sentence, you can talk about the person, the second person, the one you are addressing. You can also come first, then the third person, the person who is not there, right? The third person, and then out of courtesy for a positive or neutral sentence, I take the credit last. Okay, 2, 3, 1 here they've given both options. 3, 2, 1 is okay in this context because you are talking of a very neutral situation, neutral to positive. Okay, when it is about certain achievements, etc., 2 may come first. If you're not sure, then leave it, guys, really, because this is very contextual. Okay, you can't really apply rules everywhere. Here, Mrs. Smith, once you know the order, look for the order. Mrs. Smith, you and I were present. You, Mrs. Smith, and I. But you, Mrs. Smith, and I were present is also okay. But here there is an error. So then there is no confusion. You, Mrs. Smith, and I was present. No, we are talking of three people, so it is not just I, right? So there is an error with that anyway. You don't need confusion then. This is the answer. Okay, usually they will not confuse you like that in the exam. But if there is confusion, leave it. Okay. Opposition parties need space to expressing. See, an easy way to crack this question, you don't need to read all the options. If you are very strong in grammar, you can correct the sentence as you read it and then just pick that answer. But only if you're very strong, otherwise you check each option if you're not very sure. Okay, this method is for those who are very, very good with grammar. So let us try and I'll show you that method now. How do we correct this sentence as we read it? Okay, opposition parties need space to expressing, to express, need space to express its, parties is plural, to express their opinions on matters of importance. Where is that option? Opposite, to express their, to express their opinions, no, to, sorry, expressing, to express their opinions on matter things. Here you go. Okay, 3 is the answer. You have to read quickly. You picked 3 as the answer. Fine. Okay. Next. For India's economy projected to grow at a fast clip At a fast clip is an idiomatic usage, which means at a fast rate. But compared to the 2013, so you need faster clip, not fast clip, right? At a faster clip compared to the 2013s. Okay, only this part is in bold. So let us see. For India's economy projected to grow for a faster clip, no. At a fast clip, no, you need faster. At a faster clip compared to the 2013s. Only problem is 2013s is not a correct usage, right? 2013s, maybe they are referring to the month there. This apostrophe is not required, by the way. You say the 2020s, then 21, 22, 23. 2013 is a year, but maybe they're talking of the months there. Maybe. We don't know. Okay. You need the entire passage to understand the context. Anyway, we have to pick the most correct sentence. At a faster clip compared to the 2013s, whatever it means there, maybe the months in 2013, it has to be the 2013s. Okay. Fine. Now we have word usage. Okay, you have to read all the sentences and see in which sentences this word has been correctly used and pick. Just be careful when you pick the combinations. You have to pick it carefully. That is all. Okay, affect is the word. Affect means to influence, usually in a negative sense. Okay, let us see. The presence of the buoys. Buoys here means some things for floating in the water. Floats maybe. May affect fish, marine mammals, birds. You don't need to read the whole thing. May affect is correct here, right? Because some collision is going to happen. So affecting, negatively impacting, correct. You don't need to read the whole sentence in word usage. Once you understand you don't need to, as in if you are good enough, okay, if you're sensible enough. Otherwise, if you are weak in that concept, then you have to read the whole thing. But if you know the meaning very clearly, then you just need to see if the word is used appropriately. If ice forms on the wings or control surfaces, talking of airplanes, yeah, this may adversely affect the flying qualities, correct. Correct. As with all coastlines, this rise in water levels are predicted to negatively affect, correct. So all three are correct. Did you see? I didn't read the rest. Once I understand that the usage is correct, pick it. Okay. Otherwise, 40 questions, 20 marks. You may not do all the 40, but you have to maximize attempts. Now, that's it. Word usage 1 there. Now, what do we have here? We have what we call sentence. What we call it? Sentence rearrangement or sentence formation. In bank exams, we usually call it sentence rearrangement. Okay. Let us see. So it is like para jumble, but you need to rearrange the parts of the sentence. So grammar is what is finally tested here. For the proper training of people, in order to make them, the government should make arrangements. That should come first. In different jobs, technically proficient in the job they take up. C is definitely first. Now, let us try each of these orders, or you can try and unscramble them first. Shall I show you how to unscramble? First, instead of trying each option, the faster way is, if your grammar is strong, you unscramble it. Okay. So the government should make arrangements. That should be the beginning, right? You can't start with for the proper training of people. You can, but it may be a little clumsy. Let us try this order. Okay. So the government should make arrangements. Arrangements for something. Do we have any for here? Yes. For the proper training of people. Okay. For the proper training of people. In order to make them, is there CAB? Yes. In order to make them in different jobs. That doesn't make sense. Okay. So now proper training of people in different jobs. CAD is there? Yes. In different jobs. In order to make them technically proficient in the job they take up. Absolutely, we have got the answer. I used a combination of unscrambling it and looking at the right answer. Okay, I'm just showing you techniques. Fine. Okay, next. Niger has to make use of computers, could be starting, but let us see, right? And thus make an effective entry into the 21st century in order to accelerate progress in every field. That also could be the starting, we don't know. According to the Prime Minister of Niger, could also be a starter in as many fields as possible. We have different possibilities here, no one clear possibility. In such cases, the only way is to go option by option. Okay, in the other question, there was somewhat clear starter. If you don't have clear starters, then the best way is to go option by option and unscramble it and see. This is like para formation. It is a time consuming question type. Yeah. A, B, D, C. Let us try this. Niger has to make use of computers and thus make an effective entry into the 21st century in order, according to the Prime Minister of Niger, in order to accelerate progress in every field, in as many fields as possible. Now, there are so many misfits there, right? Niger has to make, the A is okay. But and thus make an effective entry should be at the end. It's a conclusion. There itself you should be able to understand. Okay. Next, C. So what is C? In order to accelerate progress in every field. That is the beginning. In order to accelerate possible in every field. According to the Prime Minister of Niger. What? That doesn't make sense, right? You can't have, in order to accelerate progress in every field, according to the Prime Minister of Niger, and thus make an effective, no, that does not make sense. Okay. According to the Prime Minister of Niger, Niger has to make use of computers. Okay, it's a bit of repetition, but let us see, that is okay. Make use of computers in order to accelerate progress in every field and thus make an effective entry into the 21st century in as many fields as possible. Okay. Okay. Not too bad. Right? Let us see. And thus make that. And thus make doesn't make sense. A, B, C, D, E is Niger has to make use of computers and thus make an effective entry into the 21st century in order to accelerate progress in every field, according to the Prime Minister of Niger, in as many fields as possible. No, according to the Prime Minister of Niger should come last. If it was A, B, C, D, A, B, C, E, D, it would have been okay. Right? Let me see A, B, D, C, E once more. Niger has to make use of computers and thus make an effective entry into the 21st century according, no. So now what we have is D, A, C, B, E. Let's try it again. According to the Prime Minister of Niger, Niger has to make use of computers in order to accelerate progress in every field and thus make an effective entry into the 21st century in as many fields as possible. Not very perfect, but this is the best, right, among the given options. Fine? Okay. Next. So such a question, when you see imperfect combinations, etc., it is better to leave. Okay. Yeah. And therefore, its introduction, okay. A computer can do the work of hundreds of people. That could be the starting sentence. Rather than eradicating them, eradicating people, no. Indirectly bringing in more poverty and privation. Privation is again poverty, deprivation, rather than eradicating them. So DC. DC could be the combination. B starting and DC we see here. BADEDC. The other sentence is BCAED. Any other starting sentence will throw out no. The only starting sentence is B. This is very easy. Let us try the other option. A computer can do the work of hundreds of people rather than eradicating them. Eradicating people? No, doesn't make sense. You can't eradicate people. You can eradicate conditions, poor conditions or diseases. Okay. So the fourth one is the answer. Then, okay. Through all media of mass communication should be carried out, which these don't seem to be the starting sentences. And on the other, the lesson of, okay, on the one hand, wide publicity. So that would be the starting sentence. Through radio, television, no. So D is our only starting sentence. We have 1, 2, 3 options to check. Rather, since we have only starting sentence, shall we just try unscrambling it quickly? Let us see. Okay. On the one hand, wide publicity of the grandeur India enjoyed in the past should be, wide publicity should be carried out, right? Here also on the other, the lesson, something should be brought home. So, what do we have? D, B should be carried out. How? Through radio, television, etc. D, B, E is there only in one option. Okay, through. And on the other, the lesson of national unity and emotional integration should be brought home to the people through all media of mass communication. Sentence structure, grammatical soundness is what you need. Okay. Next. The last one, it's a 40 question mock, right? Like the actual pattern. Okay. A society in which caste and parochialism will have no room, that could start. And one in which people will, okay, we are always reminded of the lesson that could also start. The nation should strive to evolve a society. So there are many starters. It is better to take each option. Okay. We are always reminded of the lesson that the nation should strive to evolve a society. A society in which caste and parochialism will have no room. And one in which people will live in peace and harmony. Okay, the only thing is you need a comma after society, right? Okay, fine. This seems okay. Now, ACD, a society in which caste and parochialism will have no room. We are always reminded of no, this is out. A society in which caste and parochialism will have no room, and one in which people will the nation should strive. No, this order is out. The nation should strive to evolve a society. Okay. We are always reminded of there is no connection. We are always reminded of the lesson that the nation should strive to evolve a society, live in peace and harmony, a society in which caste and no, then that doesn't, there should be a list then, right? Strive to evolve a society, live in peace and harmony, and do something. But if we say and one in which people will, no, that doesn't make sense. A society, strive to evolve a society in which something, and one in which. Okay. You need not a very easy question. Such complicated questions, leave it initially. Do it later if you are confident and if you have time. Okay, fine. That brings us to the end of this mock discussion. Hope you have understood certain tips and approaches. Please join all our channels in all these various platforms. And if you are not our student yet, you may consider walking into your nearest time center. We have centers all over the country, or you can enroll online. Okay. Thank you very much. All the best with your preparation.